DJT. DJT, that is the ticker of the moment, the ticker of the day. It just debuted on Wall Street, on the New York Stock Exchange. And ladies and gentlemen, wow. I mean, this stock price, it's up 45% today, $72.36 at last check. But it's just been climbing and climbing and climbing and climbing. And just to back up a little bit, remember, he's got this thing called Truth Social. Donald Trump, former president of the United States, now running again to be the 47th president of the United States. He got kicked off of Twitter. I love this. You know, this is the beauty of America. This is American capitalism at work. You get kicked off of one platform, so guess what? You go and you start your own. And that's what he did. He started Truth Social, and Truth Social merged with something called DWAC, Digital World Acquisition Corporation, in what's known as a SPAC, Special Purpose Acquisition Corporation. These things, they pool a whole bunch of capital together, and then they go out and they look for something to buy. And so DWAC said, you know, we're going to go buy Trump's Truth Social. And that's exactly what they did. And then they had to go through all the rigmarole and through all these hurdles because, you know, the SEC, et cetera, is like, what are you doing buying Trump's company? And anytime you're involved with Trump nowadays, it invites a whole level of scrutiny that you might not otherwise have. And so the feds are all over this thing. Nobody wanted to make any money at all. But ultimately, the SEC approved the deal. So then the deal was voted on Friday. Shareholders approved the deal. And today, the deal's done. The company is trading no longer as DWAC, but as DJT. How do you like that for a ticker symbol? And it's flying. They can't keep shares of this in stock. You know, this is actually amazing because the company, in fairness, you know, I'm always fair, doesn't have much in the way of earnings. I mean, I've seen estimates between 3 and 6 million. It only has some 37 employees. And yet it's worth billions of dollars, making Donald Trump that much richer. Like, he went to bed last night being worth maybe $3.5–4 billion. And he is now today going to go to bed tonight. I know they say he never sleeps, but he's going to be a happy man. He should be dreaming big, worth over $6.5 billion. He's now getting named to Bloomberg's list of 500 richest people in the world. I mean, he was rich before this. He's really rich right now, assuming it holds up, right? Because, you know, these things are on paper and stocks go up and down. We know all that. And as I said, this is a company that's a little light on revenue and doesn't have that many employees. And so they've got to actually bulk up. But this will give them some capital, one would think, to do it. I mean, it's just amazing where this is trading right now. Does it hold? We'll find out. This is going to be interesting to watch, ladies and gentlemen. And if nothing else, is it not just kind of a really good, how do we say this? I'll just say, is it not a giant FU to Letitia James and New York City and that judge who so desperately wanted to really stick it to him? So much so that they came up with this unheard of, absolutely positively unheard of bond to the tune of $500 million. Well, now he's got like $6 billion. I mean, wow. I mean, he's got 80 million shares of this thing, and you see where it's trading. So he's got some, well, that would put his net worth, I'm just doing some rough back of the envelope calculation here. If he had 3 to 3.5 billion when he went to bed last night, now you're looking at another almost 6 billion. I mean, you're talking nearly $10 billion that he is worth. Again, putting him on Bloomberg's list of the 500 richest people in the world. And gee, I mean, Letitia, he may just have the money. Now, a lot of people have said, well, wait a second, he can't sell this for 6 months. Turns out that in this particular vehicle, if you need to sell some of your shares, if you've created a certain kind of value for shareholders, there is an opportunity apparently to do so, so long as you have approval of the board of directors, which consists of a lot of his friends and his son. So he's got his son on the board. He's got Linda McMahon. Remember, she was the small business administrator, married to Vince McMahon. You've got Robert Lighthizer. You've got Cash Patel. You guys know Cash. You got quite a team there that I think they're going to say, you know what, you need the $175 million. We're going to give you the $175 million to keep Letitia and company happy. So watch this stock very carefully. Obviously, if he pulls some capital out, shares would go down. But hey, ladies and gentlemen, he is now worth a lot of money. He is a lot richer. And I think there's something kind of cool, kind of neat. And there's a kind of can I possibly say like a sweet justice in all of this? I've been talking about that a lot because I'm just amazed at the timing. I said the other day, he's got to have some guardian angel somewhere because this is like poetry. I mean, really, when you have a guy who's so down on his luck as he's being faced with a $500 million fine from Letitia and the judge that just hates him, and then he comes back with this, my goodness, right? My goodness. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, we'll see if it holds. But I think, you know what's going on? People are saying, I feel for him. I want to help him. I like him. And this is their way of expressing that. That's what people say, oh, it's a meme stock because the earnings aren't there to generate this excitement. But again, it's beauty in the eye of the beholder, right? And if you're somebody who is a Trump fan and wants to back him, maybe you're seeing this as a vehicle to do that. And, if you lose money, you're not going to be happy. So I exercise caution with all of these things. I'm just trying to explain the psychology of what's really going on. And I think this is sort of classic meme in that people are excited. They're excited about him. They want him to be president. It could serve as a little bit of a proxy, if you would, for his presidential campaign, which is hurting a little bit in cash, but they get so many legal bills to pay. So maybe this will help. I mean, of course, it doesn't all come down to cash. Let's remember that. Donald Trump had less cash, a lot less cash than Hillary Clinton, and he still beat her. I mean, it was a really darn close election last time around. And Biden had a lot more cash. So I actually don't think it's always about money. It's often about something else. And so if this stock is indicative of what is to come for the future, well, that's really positive news. Now, I want to point out, Wall Street doesn't want to go near this thing. So this is all like mom and pop investors. Wall Street's like, no way. We don't want any part of this. In fact, the bank that took this thing, this SPAC merger, I mean, E.F. Hunted was the name. That's like a name that I used to watch in network television commercials when I was a kid. It was like defunct. It went out of business. It was, by the way, like some kind of brokerage company. Well, it's like the investment bank on this deal. So E.F. Hutton, a name that we don't hear much anymore and we didn't even know was still in existence, it's taking the thing public. I'm telling you, no broker's going to recommend this. And so this all comes down to individuals who see themselves here through this stock and that they like Trump and they want to help him out.